So not making a decision or, not really feeling rushed to make a decision. This is you saying, I've put a lot of time and energy into something, some person, a position, could be work, whatever it is for you, could be all of the above. The Hanged Man often represents Pisces, so you could be dealing with Pisces or have Pisces placements in your chart. But the Hanged Man, as I said, is kind of, hanging tight, not making any major decisions, not feeling like you need to go in one direction or the other. There's no reason to move immediately. There's a lot to be learned from whatever's going on. This is really talking about paying attention to your circumstances and almost making better decisions than you have with whatever person you're dealing with or whatever situation, whether it's a past love, a present love, a future, looking for somebody in the future. The Hanged Man is saying, don't rush, Taurus, pay attention to your surroundings and make sure, it looks good. The next card you have is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Knight of Presents or the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's very cautious. You're an earth sign, so that makes perfect sense, because the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who understands what hard work is like. The Knight of Pentacles understands what goes into a relationship, and what you put in is what you get out. With certain people, other people may be, very different. You could put 120% in and they don't give that back. That's why the Hanged Man is saying, hold off on just, if somebody's come back and they're, oh, Taurus, I miss you. There's something saying, hold off here for a second. Like, make sure this is, it's not too good to be true. And what they're telling you is not, actions speak louder than words. So we can all say, a million times over whatever we feel like saying, but it's our actions that prove what we're going for. And the Knight's energy is absorbing other energies. And so this tells me that you're coming into the month very fluid in who's BSing you and who's not, right? Now, it also talks about letting your guard down a little bit, because the Knight of Pentacles can feel a little bit uptight, and that I really do feel, Taurus, this represents your current situation at the moment, because I do feel like there's somebody who's coming towards you. There may be a few different people, somebody new, somebody from the past, maybe a few different people from the past, and you are just very like, I'm not making any decision on anything right now. I want to get through the rest of the year, get through the holidays, whatever it is for you. You're just not ready to jump back into something, especially because for some of you, it doesn't feel right, or it feels like you just be repeating the same pattern. The next card you have is how you're feeling coming into the month, and you have the Moon card. So this explains a lot. The Moon card is Pisces card. So again, you could be dealing with a Pisces or a Pisces placement in your chart. The Moon card, though, talks about confusion. It's about not seeing things clearly. That's why you're putting a stop to this. That tells me a lot of you are dealing with somebody who has bullshitted you before, and you're trying to figure out, is this the same thing, or is this something new? They're claiming it's something new, or they may be coming back just saying everything you want to hear, everything you guys were going to do before, whether it was get married, have kids, move in together, travel the world, whatever it was. They're coming in swinging. They're offering you a cheese platter like you wouldn't believe. And you're going, whoa, 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 whoa. Because the Moon card is being in the middle of the woods, having the moonlight as your only light. And there's this giant object, right? 30 feet ahead of you. And you cannot tell, if I walk towards this, is this bear going to eat my feet? Or if I walk towards this, is this going to be a boulder that I can walk around? So until something rings clear and shows you exactly what you need to see, you're not going to make any major decision, regardless of how hard somebody is trying to get in your good graces. The next card you have, and that's what they're doing, they're trying to get in your good graces. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years and throughout your childhood, interesting. This is a Strength card, which is Leo's card. You could be dealing with a Leo or have Leo placements, but the Strength card here immediately tells me that maybe for the first time in a long time, Taurus, you're actually thinking about yourself and your needs and your wants and your life over what everybody else wants from you. You're being pushed and pulled and tugged, and this is you standing your ground. This is you saying, no, you could tell somebody's pushing, really pushing towards you, Taurus, big time. And there really is I don't want to say that you never stand up for yourself by any means, but you definitely, you're definitely saying no. And before, you would have been like, well, think about it. Well, okay, yes, we can meet once, or okay, yeah, you can come over and we can talk. But it always led to kind of the same energy, the same outcome, the same situation. And you're just not willing to do that this time. You're just not, you're saying no, and you're sticking to your guns until something, enlightens you and tells you differently. The next card you have is your immediate past, or the past 2 weeks, past a month or two, and you have the Devil. All right, the Devil is Capricorn's card. You have a lot of players going on here. The Capricorn, or Devil, represents Capricorn, which again you could have in your chart, or you could be dealing with the Capricorn. And I say you have a lot of players because you have Pisces coming out technically twice, Leo now, and now you have Capricorn going on. The Devil definitely tells me that that's why you're putting pause on this. You're either dealing with somebody who's very toxic, who is very jealous, very controlling, indecisive, narcissistic. This can also be addictions, vices, it could be alcohol, it could be opioid, whatever. There's a million different things here. But the Devil is something that you've dealt with for a while, but they're back. Now, cross-watchers, don't get your, like panties in a wad. Seriously, this can be reversed. So it could be, for cross-watchers, and this is, and Taurus is the Devil. But I'm reading for the sign I'm reading, so please be nice in the comments. I say the Devil is back, but they may have changed their way, or they're coming towards you telling you that they've changed their way. But you're just having a hard time believing it, because how could this person change? I mean, for some of you, they put you through like years of hell. It was like a gauntlet, and you're going, seriously, Dark Dove, there's no way this person's coming back changed. But they're adamant, hell-bent on proving you wrong, and letting you know that they're coming back in, and they want you back. Now, you have the Page of Pentacles coming out, or Page of Presents. The Page of Pentacles is, wake up. No more excuses. Make a decision. What are you waiting for? All the answers you have are in front of you. Now, this is your distant future. So that tells me there's going to be a little more debating, maybe a little more communication with this person, maybe even meeting up with them, another try, or officially saying no, whatever it is. The Page of Pentacles is saying you're waking up. You're coming to. You're saying, yes, we could try this again. No, absolutely not. This would never work again. Because this is, like I said, the woke card. This is saying everything you need is right in front of you to make a decision. Now, do we all make decisions that easily? No. And especially when it comes to our heart? No. Come on. If anybody out there says, oh, they never give second chances, or, we all know that our heart sometimes the emotions can run wild, and we make decisions that may be impractical. And I'm not saying this is impractical, but this person has shown you some sort of toxic behavior, or they have shown you for a long time. And again, you've become woke. The Page of Pentacles now, though, is saying you're going to do something about it. Either you'll try this again with this person, and it will either work out, or you'll get burned, but you need to be prepared for both. The other option is that you wake up and go, oh, hell no, I'm not trying this again. I'm not doing this again. I hope you have a great holiday. I hope, you're doing the best you can in the world situation right now. But at the end of the day, not going to happen. So whichever side of the bed you wake up on will be interesting to see. The next card you have is the Four of Wands, or Four of Candles. Now, this is over the next month through December. This feels void of somebody. So there is somebody who, again, is really wanting to get your attention, but the Four of Wands is happiness. It's resting. It's a first completion. So for a lot of you, this tells me that your resting happy place is at home with your kids and your dog, or your cat, or your hamster, or your snake, or whatever. Or, whether you have kids, don't have kids, maybe you have roommates, whatever it is. The Four of Wands is talking about, again, a resting place, somewhere you feel peace and joy. And that's what you're sustaining. That's why you're not rushing into anything. That's why with the Hanged Man, and with the Moon card, and with the Knight of Pentacles, proceeding with caution. And that's what you're doing. This Four of Wands usually would be like two people finding their happy resting place, moving in together, or, getting engaged, or moving on to the next step of whatever, is important to the relationship. But this feels more, you're at ease or at home within yourself. This feels more like you found your peace because you're holding off on making any major decisions about this other person. The next card you have is anything tangible that's coming throughout the month. And you have the Six of Presents, or Six of Pentacles. Now, the Six of Pentacles talks about being generous, but also being careful about a charitable aspect. There's it's okay to be generous and communicate with this person and be like, again, I hope you're happy and healthy and doing well. And I wish the best for you. But at the same time, if this person is almost guilting you into this, or they're, again, feeding you everything that you want to hear, and yet, you're kind of like, this would be round 3 or round 4 or round 5, just be cautious of this, because as I said, the Six of Pentacles is being very charitable to somebody, but not necessarily for all of the right reasons. So they're going to tug at your heartstrings. And for some of you, it's going to be very hard to resist, but don't ever shame yourself. If you see my channel, you know that is my biggest pet peeve. Do not shame yourself for the people that you love, because people too many times come to me and they're like, I know this sounds stupid, or I want this read, and it's just dumb that I love him, or dumb that I love her, and it's not. Because you cannot help who you fall in love with. All you can do are make decisions that eventually, are healthier or happier, or change the course for you if that's what you need to do. So if they're tugging at your heartstrings and you invite them over for, a cup of coffee, or you say, okay, we can FaceTime for, a little bit or whatever, do not guilt yourself into doing that, because at one point, you love this person and you still love this person. It just, you just have realized what's healthy for you and what's not. The next card you have is anything you're feeling throughout the month. It could be the beginning, middle, end, last or day. You have the Ace of Pentacles. You have a lot of Pentacle energy here in this read. And so you have Pentacles, 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 Pentacles. So you may be dealing with an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. But you, Taurus, have the Ace of Pentacles is how you're feeling, which is new opportunities, new beginnings. So I think a lot of you were on course to new. And here comes this person kind of coming in going, again, very much, they keep telling me stuff like sweetening the deal. Like they're trying to fish, they're hook, line, and sinker. But what are they going to do if they were to get what they want in getting you back? What comes next? So you have the Ace of Pentacles, like I said, which is you just want opportunities. You just want, and the Ace of Pentacles is new, very new. This is new opportunities. This is new beginnings. This is, prosperity. So in essence, you just want a happy place. You just want a clean slate. And for some of you, that's going to have to be without this other person. The next card you have your hopes and fears for the month. It's interesting. This card is Libra's card, Justice. This has come out in so many reads this month. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if everybody's dealing with Libras or if Libra's just like having a moment. But the Justice card coming out talks about, looking at a situation practically and making decisions based on that. It goes very well along with like the Hanged Man, the Knight of Pentacles. This talks about don't gun for things with your emotions. Don't run towards things because, oh, I love this person. I miss them so much. Go for it because it feels healthy and safe and secure and stable. Easier said than done. And I realize that, but the Justice card does talk about, like what comes around goes around type situation, and not in a bad, not applying that negatively. It's just, really truly with how this card is portrayed, the scales, right? They tip, and sometimes they're even, and more often than not, they're not. And so do you want to get back in a situation that's uneven if that's where you were before and you don't feel like it can even out? I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying for a lot of you, it's like the Hanged Man. Like I said, you put 120% in, or 100%. Some people go, how can you put 120%? But you get my gist. And this person didn't. So are the scales going to be even, or is it going to go back into being you put all the work or the mental anxiety or anguish into it, just to end up in the same cycle? The Justice card, though, can mean marriage. So there is a possibility either you're married to this person, engaged, or they're going to come in offering an engagement. Now, the outcome card you have is a Four of Cups or Four of Potions. Your biggest concern here is that you are going to be taken advantage of, or that somebody is going to tell you again what they think you want to hear. And then you're going to be like, this does not, feel right or seem right, because the Four of Cups is somebody who's dealt with being taken advantage of. The Four of Cups is somebody who's dealt with somebody who, it's apathy. The Four of Cups talks about wasting time. And really what it's coming down to is, do you want to how much more time do you want to put into this situation? How much more time, how many more times can you go through this? And ironically, you have the Four of Cups on top of the Four of Cups, clarifying that. So if you truly feel like this is a wasted deal, if you truly feel like, look, Taurus, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to sniff this out. Okay. You're going to know immediately, is this, good for me or is it not? You're going to have success regardless of what you do. So if you choose to go back to this person, even knowing that there's a possibility that this isn't going to happen, even knowing that there's a possibility that you could get hurt, then you may be willing to sacrifice that in order to see where this goes, in order to see what this person has to say. But for some of you, you're understanding that it could be, not a waste of your time. I don't like to say that, but I mean, that's what the Four of Cups stands for, is again, taking for granted, putting time and energy into something that doesn't work, and to have it double come up. It says that you're worried about it, but this other person may also be worried about it with you. Maybe they have their own, obviously they're going to have their own beef with you because it takes two to tango, right? But there's something here about both of you being nervous. Like maybe they are coming through with a sincere offer, Taurus, and yet they're worried that they're going to come through with a sincere offer and they're wasting their time on trying because you're going to doubt it no matter what. Then you have the Six of Wands, which is achievement, success, pride. This talks about, look, you're going to be successful regardless of how this goes. So if you give them one more chance and it doesn't go well, you're not losing anything because you're already setting yourself up knowing that there's a possibility for sadness. Now, your clarifying card here is the Five of Cups, which is, spilled milk basically, but it's also a sadness. It's a loneliness. It's a grief. So it's almost as if you're going to feel some sort of sadness or some sort of grief if you don't give this another chance, but you're going to know right away because you have the Ace of Swords here, and the Ace of Swords is clarity, logic, power. So there's something going on here where you may not even have to get to the point where you get hurt or that you have to worry about getting hurt again, because they may reveal themselves like immediately, or you're going to sense something, or your instinct or the universe will reveal to you that like, hey, this person's seeing somebody still, and yet they're trying to contact me, or something completely different where this person comes through and you're like, holy crap, they've really changed their life. They've really changed, who they are and what they want. So your clarifying card or your oracle card for the ending here is Vermarine. Okay. And it talks about a bridge. So are we, crossing that bridge? It basically it's cross that bridge when we get there. Right. So I don't think you're going to do anything right this second. I do feel like this person is going to continue to pursue you. They are going to push, but you're not going to make that decision immediately. They have to close that gap a little more, and it's going to have to be slow and steady and on your terms. And if they can't do that, then you'll move on. You're not rushing into anything because you've been there, done that, and you're looking for a change. If not a change, then something different.